One of the first things I learned as a dad was that you could be there and not really be there, and you could do a whole lot like without putting your heart. And something I'm learning now as a dad is that if my baby hears me talking, he's gonna want to talk too. But it's just one of the first things really was that you really have to emotionally be there. I don't know if in the early stages it's so much for them as much as like the Lord has that kind of there for you, because something the Lord had to teach me was that as a leader, right, a lot of your being poured back into looks like those who you're leading having access to you emotionally. And so, yeah, that's when. And might rain. Whenever the clouds get dark like this usually means it's gonna rain. And when it smells like this, it's probably gonna rain. Do you like rain? Good, me too. Can I finish? Can I? But something the Lord taught me was that for leaders, a lot of you're being poured back into, a good portion of it is going to come by virtue of being emotionally available for those that you're leading, because there's there's a really unique thing that can only happen whenever you are emotionally available for those that you're leading. Like, I can only imagine there's even like a lot of men who are married, and as much as they are there for their wives, take care of their wives, take care of their kids, they're not emotionally present and emotionally available to them. And so in one way, those who are mature enough, so like those who aren't like little tiny kids, can feel the disconnect. But then also for you as the man who is leading your household, you may feel unfulfilled. And a lot of it's because so much of affirmation comes out of, or rather is poured through emotions and through emotional connection. Hence why even sometimes it's hard to believe God as his son, as his daughter, for some of those affirmations until you have some emotional experiences with him, because there's a very specific kind of vulnerability that's required, and that vulnerability then like allows for you to receive. And I know this may sound a bit out there or even a bit confusing, but if you follow, then I hope it blesses you. And to summarize and to be very clear, I just wanted to share one of the first things that I learned as a dad was that it was really important, and it is really important, to be emotionally available and to have a passion in my doing my day-to-day duties, because it's beneficial to me, of course, but then it also builds that emotional connection that's gonna hold us through those seasons that are up ahead, where your kid needs to not just fear you, because right now, like, he really doesn't really respect is something that he probably is trying to conceptualize, but fear, by virtue of like, I just know that you're in charge and so I should obey you. Fear as described as that is probably more so where I think his brain is at. And so like, just if you're a young dad like me and so you're learning the same thing and you have some thoughts, please hit me. I'd love to chat. Or if you're a young dad and this is something you've never considered, this might be that blockage in your heart that you feel like there's just something off. Like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but something's off. It's probably because you're not emotionally available and you're not really passionately involved in the things that you're doing, whether it be talking to your wife, talking to your kids, changing a diaper. There's a way to add emotion to all of that. And I'm not saying you're always going to have it to give or that you're always going to give it, but it's good to be able to access it, and it's good to spend more time in that than not. Amen. And actually, literally, my best example yet is like whenever your kids are laughing, like actually laugh with them. Like I don't mean like ee, I mean like. It feels so good. It feels so good, man.